All right, good morning, guys. Um, this is my third summit that I've been to, and I've seen some pretty impressive things over the years. And mine seems to be kind of insignificant, but to a few students, it can really mean a lot. So, the title of this is A Little Touch of Technology because my project is iPod Touches. Like I said, it's not a big deal. Most people have that kind of technology simply in their pocket with an iPhone. But the issue is not a lot of people. There are a few students that don't have it, and what we want to make sure is we have no kids that are being left behind. So, sorry, it's a bad habit. Okay. So the purpose for choosing this for my class is, first of all, to keep up with the demand for information technology in a 21st century classroom. At Paintsville High School, we are very blessed with as good a technology as you could find anywhere in the country. I have the Mondo pad in my room. I have a smart board. I have Chromebooks. I have all these different things, but still, students want to use their phones for different applications in class. And I don't have a problem with that. It's what they're familiar with. And it's useful. They have a computer in their pocket, but the issue is some kids don't, and I'll address that in a few minutes. But another thing about the iPod Touch is its usefulness and capabilities. You can do a lot of different things, from research to interactive activities. There's a lot of things that can be done with an iPod Touch. But the main thing is to make sure that none of my students get left out just because they don't have an iPhone. And, I do have the Chromebooks. I've got a lot of technology there, but sometimes there are insecurities for a kid. They would like to have the same thing that everybody else has, and why can't they? So this is why I wrote this grant, and I'm excited to actually use it. So I do want to address some misconceptions concerning students, and really with as a part of this project. Um, Even if students don't have technology, in the home or access to internet, they can still get all their online needs met in other ways. That's not necessarily true. I like to, you know, think that kids can work around things and solve this problem, but some can't. So having this iPod Touch in class, and if they need to take it home, if they need to do something, they can do that. Also, all students know how to effectively use the newest technology available. And we always say, like it says here, they can use technology better than we can. Well, that's not true for every kid. There's a lot of kids that are in the dark about how to use an iPhone or touch technology, and we need to make sure that they have that capability because it is an important part of just life. Whether you're running a business, whether it be a part of your college education, we use it a lot, in our world today. So the uses for the iPod Touch in my classroom, first of all, is research. We do WebQuest. We do different things in my classroom that's online based, and research. An iPod Touch can do the same thing as a computer, anything like that. So, also one of the things that we use, me and my counterpart back there, is Moodle, E-Tiger, we call it at Paintsville. We use it a lot for assignments, quizzes, games. There's a lot of different things that you can do, and you can do it, with just the touch of a phone. I've had kids that have done quizzes in my integrated social studies class years ago. I had a kid say that he did a quiz for me while he was sitting in his tree stand deer hunt. So, I mean, that's the capabilities of this. You don't have to just be learning at school. You can be using this technology anywhere. So we can use these for a lot of different applications. Also, interactive classroom activities like Kahoot. My students love the Kahoot games. Sometimes instead of using a bell work or anything like that, we use a Kahoot to review material that we've already went over, and it gets extremely competitive, especially in an AP class. I mean, they are really out for blood when it comes to the Kahoot game. So, and really, the iPod Touch and their phones is definitely the way to go with this. And I have had over the years before I got the iPod Touches, there was kids that got left out or had to buddy up with somebody. So the iPod Touch is helping out with that. But one of the main purposes of this is not just about making sure that all the kids are involved, but I also want to really up the game and in my class and start with media productions. And I've done that before, but I ran into a challenge of all kids having access to that. So the iPod Touches are going to address this. And what I mean by the media productions is with the use of um, iMovie and different applications like that, but primarily iMovie is really good. Um, the challenge for me this year has been that this has been a fast-paced year, and really getting to the project that I want to do this year has been kind of tough. It's been high speed, so I've blocked off about 2 weeks at the end of the school year, so I haven't actually got to do this yet. But for us to do a media production in my integrated social studies class, my geography class. So what we're going to do in just a few weeks in that class using iMovie is we are going to, with the declining coal industry, and hopefully it's coming back, but we want to explore different avenues in Johnson County that can stimulate some economic activity. Things that we've got that's interesting for people could draw people in, and really we want to promote our area, and we can do that in my class through iMovie. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send kids out into the field on their own time, and if they need the iPod Touch, a lot of them will just use their iPhones. I mean, they really will. They'll just use it. They'll make an awesome documentary, 3-minute video about about their topic. But there are kids that don't have that capability, and really that's what got me into this project. Several years ago, in a current events class and global issues, we were talking about energy, and we were doing an iMovie or some type of production, and the outcome was, and the results was just a tremendous success. Some great productions, but I had about 4 boys in that class, and I kept asking them as we were working on it. I said, "How's it going? How are we doing?" And they said, "Oh, we're good. We got out. We got some pictures. We're going to do this weekend. We're going to, we've got plans. We've got plans." Well, when the due date came up, they still had plans, and they didn't have the capabilities to go out and to get the footage that they needed. They didn't have that technology to do it like everybody else did. And I just thought that was unfair. And I wanted to try to give that to these students. So I do want to show you the capabilities of what we can do with these. And I'm probably going to run just a little bit long. Is there any way I can go with it? Because I want to show a video. When I did this, we looked into a lot of different things like geothermal energy, solar power. We looked into a lot of things. And I had an exchange student at the time. And as soon as I assigned this project, she said, "Mr. Shortridge, can I go out into the hall and make a phone call?" And of course I'm like, "No." And she's like, "No, I want to call my dad." She was from Denmark, and she said, "I want to do my project over our energy uses in Denmark." And she said, "I want to call my dad so he can get some footage for me from Denmark." And I was like, "Go." So she goes out, she calls him, and let me tell you, she came back with an unbelievable project. I mean, it's really commercial ready. It's really good stuff. And what her dad had done, they're very energy conscious in Denmark. They don't drive a whole, their family, large family, had one car, but everybody had a bike, and they ride bikes all the time. And the next day, he sticks a GoPro on his head and heads to work, and he gets all kinds of footage. Now, some of this stuff, she's got some other things that are on there from the internet that she's ripped and things, but most of this is her own footage from her father that sent it to her from Denmark. So it's some pretty cool stuff. It's just about a minute. So let me show this. All right. This is him riding to work. This is real footage of him. So that was done on an iPhone, and a GoPro, sent to her from Europe. But those kids that don't have that technology, they do now. They've got that capability with the iPod Touch. So, any questions?